based on the law of agency, which governs the relationship between a principal and an agent, where the agent is authorized to act on behalf of the principal in legal or business matters. Overview. Law of agency. The law of agency establishes that a principal delegates authority to an agent. The agent acts on the principal's behalf and in their best interest. The agent's acts bind the principal within the scope of the authority granted. Key types of authority. Actual authority. Express, clearly stated, e.g., contract, POA. Implied, inferred from conduct or circumstances. Apparent authority. Third parties believe the agent is authorized due to the principal's conduct. Ratified authority. Principal affirms or adopts unauthorized acts after the fact. 2. Assuming multiple roles, CEO, director, CFO, manager, etc. Under the law of agency, you can occupy multiple roles if authority is properly structured and documented. Here's how. 1. Create or control the entity, principal. To hold all roles, you must be in control of the principal, the legal entity, such as an LLC or corporation. That means you form the entity through articles of incorporation or organization. You designate yourself or another proxy entity under your control as the sole incorporator or member. 2. Appoint yourself to multiple roles. Under most corporate statutes, the board of directors or managing member in an LLC appoints officers like CEO, CFO, etc. If you are the sole director, you can appoint yourself to all officer roles via board resolutions. 3. Role as agent for the entity. Every officer or manager is an agent of the company. CEO, agent with broad executive authority. CFO, agent over financial matters. Director, sets policy and supervises officers in corporations. Manager, day-to-day operations in LLCs or corporations. 4. Unified agency through single natural person. You can simultaneously be the principal if acting in your private capacity forming and owning the entity. The agent, as CEO, CFO, etc., via documented appointment. The attorney in fact, with a POA or appointment under contract. Law does not prohibit one natural person from occupying multiple roles if there is no conflict of interest or it is properly disclosed and waived. The governing documents, bylaws, operating agreement, etc., permit it. Practical steps. Form the entity, LLC, corporation. Draft internal documents. Operating agreement, LLC, or bylaws, corporation. Initial resolutions stating your appointments as director, CEO, etc. Document your authority. Board minutes or resolutions naming you to each position. Bank resolutions, if needed for financial access. Operate accordingly. Act only within your defined authority in each role. Maintain records that show when you're acting in each capacity. 4. Legal capacity reminder. Every role you assume is a different legal capacity, even if it's the same physical person. Always sign documents with the appropriate title, e.g., John Doe, CEO of XYZ Incorporated. Maintain separation of roles in writing, even if they are filled by one person. To lawfully establish and reflect your control over the entities and roles, you will need a combination of official forms, internal resolutions, and, optionally, a sworn affidavit. Below is a breakdown of what's required and how it works under the law of agency and corporate governance. Required documents and forms to establish control. 1. Entity formation documents, filed with state. LLC, Articles of Organization. Corporation, Articles of Incorporation, filed with the Secretary of State or appropriate corporate division. You list yourself as Organizer/incorporator, you create the entity. Initial member, LLC, or initial director, Corp. 2. Internal governance documents, not filed with the state. These prove who holds internal authority. LLC. Operating agreement. Names you as sole member and manager. Grants you full managerial control. Corporation. Bylaws. Establish rules for governance. Initial board resolutions. Appoint yourself as director, CEO, CFO, secretary, etc. Documents to create. Board of Directors Resolution, Corp. Manager Resolution or Member Resolution, LLC. These state: resolved that your name is hereby appointed to the positions of Director, Chief Executive Officer, Chief Financial Officer, and Secretary, with all powers and responsibilities attached to those offices under the bylaws and state law. 2. Affidavit of control, optional but powerful. To reinforce your lawful control for public or third-party notice. Affidavit of sole control. This is a notarized statement by you as a natural person. Includes your full legal name, the name of each entity, your titles, reference to the entity formation document, statement of control and authority under penalty of perjury, notarized signature. Example statement. I, John Doe, being the sole incorporator, director, and officer of XYZ Corporation, do hereby affirm under penalty of perjury that I have full lawful control and authority over said entity, including all business, financial, and legal decisions, as set forth in the Articles of Incorporation and Bylaws. 3. Optional forms to notify or record publicly. Form SS. 4. IRS EIN application used to get a tax ID in your control. UCC 1. Optional only if you are asserting a security interest, not required to show control. Assumed name certificate, if using a trade name filed with your county or state. 4. Signatures must reflect role. Always sign documents with your title, to show capacity. John Doe, CEO of ABC Incorporated. John Doe, Manager of XYZ LLC. Summary of what you need. Purpose. Document/form. Form the entity. Articles of Incorporation/Organization. Internal authority. Bylaws or operating agreement. Appointment to roles. Board or member resolutions. Affirm your control, optional. Affidavit of control, notarized. Tax or banking. IN, IRS Form SS, 4, plus corporate resolutions. Entity type, LLC or corporation. Exact legal name of entity. Your full legal name, how it should appear in documents. State of formation, e.g., Texas, California. Formation date, or use TBD if not yet filed. Do you want to include a trade name/DBA? If yes, provide the name. Articles of formation. Operating agreement or bylaws. Board or member resolutions. Affidavit of control. IRS EIN instructions. Signature formats for different roles.